My soccer story began on the cracked cement courts in Kfar Ha'olanim, Israel. I recall running as fast as I could to school with my school uniform and my brand new indoor soccer shoes. I felt my blue Nikes graze the ground every time I took a step closer to the Or school in my hometown. Goosebumps ran down my body. The sun's rays were all alone in the sky. The wind brushed past my skin. The fresh cold air flowed in and out my nose. The new wet cement of the roads was hard to avoid. The taste of the fresh pancakes that my dad made me for breakfast was still lingering in my mouth. My stomach was cramping up because I was still digesting those pancakes. I didn't care. I just wanted to play with my friends in those cracked cement courts. We played 7 days a week from dawn to dusk. We couldn't stop playing the game that we all loved. One night, after a long day at the courts, I came upstairs to see my mom and dad talking in the kitchen. They informed me that my mom got accepted to do her postdoctoral fellowship at Harvard Medical School's Joslin Diabetes Center in Boston. I couldn't believe I was going to be leaving Israel. Where would I play soccer? How would I speak to the people? What about all of our friends and family? I can't just leave them. The move to Boston forced me to immerse in the American culture quickly. My family moved into a small house in Brooklyn, a suburb of Boston. My first memory of Brooklyn was of me walking over to my new school's soccer field with my grandmother. As soon as we got there, I saw a group of boys playing soccer in the field, who looked much older than me. I was shy at first to ask them if I could play, but my grandma urged me to join them. I didn't know how to communicate with them, so I just pointed at the ball. The only way I could communicate with them was through the language of the game that we all loved. They were shocked by my skill in the ball. They later went over to my grandmother and asked her where I learned how to play. My first encounter with those kids really calmed my anxiety before the first day of school. I eventually started school, made new friends, and fell in love with other American sports like basketball and football. I continued to play soccer, but my love for the game was not the same as it used to be. In 8th grade, I decided to join my middle school basketball team. During the first game of the season, I went up for a layup and landed on an opposing player's ankle. I felt my knee twist. The problem with my knee was OCD, a very rare injury that required me to sit out from soccer and basketball for a while. Watching my teammates play motivated me to do my rehab. When I finally returned to the field, I was a mess. I couldn't run for 5 minutes without losing my breath. Even though it was hard to get back to top form, I eventually did. I continued to play soccer day in and day out. After I trained hard with the local team, I felt that I was ready to move on to bigger and better things. I decided to try out for the New England Revolution Academy, the top youth team in all of Massachusetts. The tryouts went amazing, but I wasn't sure if I would make the team. One day, while sitting in Spanish class, I received a text message from my mom. She had informed me that I got accepted into the team. I was shocked. I couldn't believe that the best team in New England would want me to play for them. My time with the Revs shaped me into the person that I am today. The coaching staff there taught me how to compete, train, and act like a professional soccer player. I forced my way into the starting lineup for the Revs. I soon began to get a lot of attention from college scouts. One day, I received a call from Coach Chad Riley, informing me that he's offered me a spot on the Dartmouth men's soccer team. Without any hesitation, I soon committed. My first season with the Big Green was a great one. I got the chance to compete day in and day out with my teammates, who I have formed a very strong bond with. Every day that I'm with those guys is a fun day. I look forward to continuing to develop as a player as I continue to write my soccer story.